I'm Vinu Keller. Welcome to Vinu Inspires. It's time to give your children a childhood they won't have to heal from. Good morning and welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. I am Vinu Keller. Today I wanted to talk about what stress is in our life. It seems that everyone, and I mean everyone, is completely overtaken by the stress in their life. And so while I was doing coaching this week with some of my clients, I realized how much stress our kids are feeling too, and how it shows up in their lives. Stress can show up in our kids' life through some of the behaviors they're having, whether they're withdrawing or they're feeling sad or they're avoiding. Avoiding is a great technique when people are stressed. And so when I was looking at this with some of my clients, what I recognized is first we need to figure out what is stress. For so long in my life, I felt that there's times I'm not stressed. I love what I do. That doesn't bring me stress. I'm not stressed at all. And what I realized, that was wrong, because what stress is the pressure. And it's not just any pressure. It's the pressure of the outcome that we're expecting. So let me just give you an example, especially for our kids. So when might we see our kids stressed out? What I see with my clients and with my own kids at times is when there's a big test or grades are coming out or there's a project that's due. Is it the project, the test that is creating that stress for them, the pressure? Probably not. It is the outcome they're looking for. And here's the outcome most kids are looking for: to get that A, to get that grade. And so it's the outcome, or it's to turn it in on time, because there's a timeline, the pressure of the timeline. So it's that outcome of getting it turned in on time or the grade. If I asked the client, so if you had more than a week to do that report, is it really about the timeline? Is there pressure anymore about the report? The client's like, no, not at all. So for them, it is the pressure of the time. For another client, they said it didn't matter if it was a week, 2 weeks, a month, a day. It's knowing that they did it right to get the A, because getting it right means that they got the 100 or they got the A on it. So there's different outcomes that your children are looking for when they're doing the project or doing the test. Part of that test anxiety that creates the stress, and I know because I've had it and I sometimes still have it when there's a seminar I'm taking and then we're going to be tested at the end of it. And all of a sudden, as soon as they say we're going to be tested at it, my heart starts pounding. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not a test taker, which I have created that identity for myself because of past references of I just never really did great on tests as a child. So that stress of taking a test, the pressure of taking a test, comes from not if I know the information that I'm going to do. It's, am I going to get the A? Am I going to show that I understand this material and get that A? And for our kids, we really need to step into the pressures they're putting on themselves, which is the stress. What is the outcome our kids are trying to accomplish that's creating the pressure on them? Because we can't eliminate the stress in our life. There's always going to be an outcome we want. There's always going to be a time crunch. I mean, for us adults, and I can speak for me personally, the stress that comes into me is honestly not letting anyone down. So if I have a whole day of coaching clients and I have to do a talk I need to write, and then my kids have to get to their practice, and then my husband needs something from me, and then, my mom is calling me and she needs something from me, and then I have a friend that's reaching out and she needs something from me. It's not that I mind that people need something from me. It's, if I don't get it done, who am I going to let down? And so my pressure, again, is the outcome. It's the outcome of letting someone down or having them have a different opinion of, I'm not trustworthy, I don't keep my word, or whatever it is, right? It's that outcome that creates the pressure, which is the stress that I feel. And what happens when we have stress? It creates that cortisol in our body, cortisol, that is not great. they call that the stress hormone. It takes away from our sleep. It takes away from our nutrition. It starts to impact everything on around in our lives. So if we're feeling it as an adult, what is our kids feeling? So imagine this. If we were able to really help our kids realize what this is, and we took away the label of stress and we gave it the label of what it is, like, what is it that's making you feel tense or scared or fear or overwhelmed? Some of the feelings that come along with that word stress. What is it really? What's the outcome you're searching for in order to create that pressure on you? And what can I do to support you in releasing that? Because here's what really happens when we change that focus away from that outcome. Maybe we'll take a moment and go exercise. Why do they say exercise relieves stress, or, eating or cooking a nutritious meal? Because we're putting our focus into the exercise. Our focus is no longer on that pressure. If we're cooking, we're taking away the focus from the pressure of what's due or how it's due, or the anxiety of what we need to do. And we're putting our focus on cooking a great meal. So literally, if you think of a pressure cooker, like the old ones that have that little weight at the top that go, right? If we just push it a little bit, it releases some of the pressure. That's exactly what exercise does. And, focusing on eating a good meal, getting good sleep actually can take away that pressure as well. So it's releasing that pressure. It's given us a clear mind to say, what is really affecting our children in that moment? Is it the schoolwork? Is it the timing? What's their outcome that's really creating that pressure? And I use school as an example because the age range that, I do a lot of coaching in, it could be anything. It could be social pressure that creates stress. It could be for some of our older kids, because I work with some young adults. It could be the pressure at work or finding a job or finding a college that they're going to go to. Some of the stress comes from parents. Yes, parents, I'm saying it. I know it. I'm a parent too. Sometimes we put the pressure on our children because their outcome is not to let us down. Their outcome is for us to be proud of them. So if they make a decision that in their mind, they've created a story that we won't like that as a parent, what pressure have we put in on them, which is actually their stress? So again, here's the strategy. Help them figure out the cause, that outcome. How could we help them see it in a different way to release the pressure, to help them see that maybe they have more time or they have a different way of handling this? And, getting an A is not going to really change anything because they're still going to have an A overall. Like, what can we do to release some of that pressure in the outcome that they want that's creating all that pressure and stress on them? Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next Wednesday.